Hey guys, and welcome to part 19 of the Resident Evil 6 playthrough. We are finishing off Chris's campaign. Thank fuck.
You can't wait for this to be over, can you?
Well, this is the most boring one. And what's in this giant cocoon? Meet Haos.
I thought it was Squidward's.
This is the ultimate weapon that Ada's prepared for the release of the C virus globally.
So what is it exactly?
Haos, it's basically a giant humanoid with a skull for a face, with tentacles and the ability to swim.
Yeah, it's Squidward.
A C virus version of Squidward.
SpongeBob, what the hell do you think you're doing here?
Now this is where we separate. Jake and Shay will have a different final boss, but this creature is the final boss for Chris's campaign. But we can't do anything from here, so what we could do at this point, run.
Just run.
Aye, because it's gonna bring down the entire elevator, stairs and all that with it, and we can't do anything from here. So all we have to do is run. If this thing gets to you, instant death. For this section anyway, because we're not actually fighting it, we're just trying to get away from it for now.
So does it like eat you when it kills you, or?
No, it drags you down with you into that big bottomless pit. And remember, we're underwater still.
Ah, yeah. We'll just start playing this clarinet and kill you.
Captain, over here.
It's like Ada's now became one of these, you know, typical scientist villains where they always have a big, massive creature as a last-minute ditch. Or, in the Wesker's case, mutate themselves.
At least he had the decency to do it himself.
Right, this bit, you have to shoot the head so it can be stunned and reveal the path. Because if you fail, it'll grab the platform and drag it with you. Oh man, I'll let these guys give a 15 minutes second start. 15 minutes second, that's new. I wonder how long it took Ada for that to make that cocoon that specifically big.
She was probably working on it for such a long time, watching SpongeBob, and that's how she got obsessed with it.
So overall thoughts on this creature in terms of design?
I can't help but think it's Squidward. It's just like the big head, the tentacles, and the colour.
That's gonna be absolutely creepy if whoever was the poor human that was chosen to be the body for this creature.
Oh yeah, it's quite sad. I bet it was like some junkie on the street.
Aye, who had? Asafin, why is it with scientists picking random nobodies? Right, for this bit, Stephen is temporarily trapped on the platform, but I have to shoot the head so that he can drop the platform and Stephen can catch up. Stephen can't do anything because he doesn't have a. It's the way physics work, you know. He isn't able to stand still. So we made it to the elevator. Right, this is phase 1 of the fight. He'll pop up from the middle there, and the floor will close it. You can see that the floor is closing, but he manages to get out. The best way to take out this guy for phase 1 is to get the grenade launcher and just constantly shoot him in the head.
Alright.
But this is actually pretty easy considering the area you're in here is really big. You've got plenty of room to run around and get yourself out of the way. It's not until phase 2 where things get a little bit more hectic. So see what I mean? Look how far he is away from me.
It's gonna take her a while to get over, won't it?
Aye. So his weak spot for now is the head.
Shit, this thing won't die.
I'm surprised this place is not flooding considering his weight.
Well, like the water just like rises so quickly.
I mean, we're deep underwater at this point. And that's phase 1.
Oh, that's pretty easy.
It's probably and the reason it's because it's fast because you got 2 players doing the same thing compared to say if you were playing this by yourself. The AI will probably not know what to do. That's what. Don't you hate it when you have an AI companion and it doesn't do what you're supposed to do, so that you can have more control and pad out the boss fight?
There you go, Andrew. Now it is flooding quickly.
Aye, I had to say something, didn't I?
Piers!
Okay, how here's a little nitpick. you get the after this. You saw them swimming deep underwater, and yet their guns are still functional after this. How the hell are the guns not soaked or anything like that?
Getting better.
I guess that was another thing that Capcom overlooked.
What, can guns be soaked up in water?
I guess they can, like, they should still work properly, I'd assume.
Oh, great. It's not dead yet. I'm back, bitches!
Squidward's coming.
Right. All we have to do now is get the hell out of here. We're nearly done. And look, even the game's being generous by giving you free acid rounds.
Oh, he's back.
Aye. Right, this is a time limit. These tunnels, he's gonna try and sink them down. So you have to get to the door before... You have to get to the next tube and another before they close. Like that.
Squidward's out of blood.
Yep. And just like the head, when the hand comes in, shoot the hand so it can be stunned and reveal the path. And you can't simply run past these doors, you have to slide. Indiana Jones style. But the last one, the last tube you have to run through is going to be a challenge for one of yous. And I believe it's this one right here. One of yous falls down, while the other has to mash the shit out of the X button to keep the door open until your partner gets back up.
Was this bit, like, quite tricky?
Yes, because you have to mash really, really fast. If you mash too slow, it counts as a mission fail, and you get squished, and you both die. I will admit, my finger was hurting after that. And that's your second to last emblem landing right there. You see what I mean? This thing is able to swim, hence why it's made this way, so that it can spread the sea virus across the globe, because the entire... It's like... Was it 80% of the Earth is made of water?
Yeah. And a lot of its oceans haven't been discovered yet.
Well, I wonder if this thing will discover it. But then again, it's not a robot, it doesn't have an artificial intelligence, it's just a bioorganic weapon. Yeah, you're right, Squidward is really out for blood.
I'll show you.
Oh shit.
I hate you.
Oh, he's squeezing his arm.
Oof.
Oh!
Oh god.
Yeah, he's just been impaled.
Squidward.
Oh, for fuck's sake, as if that wasn't bad enough! His arm's completely gone now.
Oh god.
And he's gonna squish Redfield to death. Symbolic. You know what this means.
It's going to be the injured hero that saves the day, isn't it?
Yeah. And you know what that means. That was an enhanced sea virus strain. So he has no choice but to mutate. By the way, Stephen can't do anything at this section. I have to go up to the sea virus strain and inject myself with it. If I take too long, I will pass out for loss of blood, and the Haos will crush Stephen to death. So what am I going to get now that I've taken the sea virus drug? Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, don't do them.
Behold, an electricity arm.
Behold.
And this is actually unique. This is where you get a little bit of a uniqueness for Piers, where his arm becomes an electricity firing projectile. The thing is, when you fire, it drains your health, and you don't have an aiming reticule to help you. So this is the hardest part. So this is phase 2 of the boss fight. You saw it's gone into a cocoon. Now this Haos, when it takes dollar damage, it goes into a cocoon to re-heal itself, or get itself back together. But the boss fight will not activate until we go up to the main door and press the elevator button. So me and Steven are taking this time to make sure we get all the boxes. So yeah, at this point on, I'm only using the electric arm. I can't access my inventory, I can't use first aid sprays, so Steven has to protect me, while I also have to protect him with my arm.
I see.
And I can't run as well because I'm injured at this point. So, and get this, I can't even use my arm as a melee weapon. It only shoots electricity.
So it's only really there for show.
Yes. Right. You see those orange spots on its body? Those are the weak point to get it to transform into the cocoon. Like I said, when it's in the cocoon, it's healing itself. Now, this way that it attacks is that it has when it puts its hands on the ground, like slamming them, it'll bring out tentacles that are like its fingers, and they'll pull you towards the creature, so it can do more damage. But see those weak spots? The moment it splits in half, the body half goes crazy for a split second until it explodes. What it then does is that it goes into a cocoon. Piers has to go ahead and do a full charge shock so he can get it out of its cocoon, and then Stephen has to go up and stab one of the hearts. You do this 3 times, and that's your boss fight. And this is one of those boss fights where the game does not explain how it's to be done.
Was it quite difficult at first when you first did this?
Yes, it is, because again, the game does not explain what to do or how the controls and all that. Well, it does how to. Yeah, it does tell you how to use the Piers arm, but it doesn't tell you what the weak spots are. And I think in our first ever playthrough co-op wise, I think this boss took us 20 minutes to figure it out.
Really?
To figure out what the pattern was and where the weak spot was, because we would try shooting the head, that didn't work, and try the arms, that doesn't work, until we saw this animation where you shoot the core and it goes on the side for a bit and injure. That's another move it does. When it spits out those cocoons, you can destroy those for Chris to gain ammunition. Or I can just pick up first aids and, well, not first aids, the skill system. Because I can see that the more times I use my electricity, it drains my health. So Stephen has to do most of this damage, while I can destroy it when it's in the middle of the cocoon.
You think this whole electric arm thing kinda jumped the shark a little bit?
I would think so, but they already did something similar like this in Resident Evil 4, so which we'll save for that playthrough. And then what it's doing when it goes up to these balconies, you can't destroy it. It's just basically entering the 3rd stage when it does these cocoons. It's only when it's on the I know it's confusing, but when it's on the ground and it's in a cocoon, that's when you have to damage it. So you can see there, I'm trying my best to shoot the core to provide help for Stephen, but it's a lot harder without an aim reticule or a laser sight. Piers just doesn't have it. And there's actually one glitch happened in one time where remember I told you the bottom half, when it's separated, it goes crazy and chases one of you. There's one time where it did that, but as it exploded, the model of the body was still there.
Okay, that's a bit weird.
And we would clip right through it. Right, this is the last bit where Stephen because he's injured, he has to slowly crawl his way while I give this guy the shock of his life, so that Stephen can go up and stab that last heart. And that will be the last bit of the boss. By the way, in this particular section, it automatically puts you into like 1 block of health.
Does it?
For Chris, anyway. And that's it.
He's dead.
Nice.
Don't jinx it. Knowing Resident Evil, he'll come back. And here's a little thing to pay attention for now, Colin. Look at the state of Piers now and see when we get to the next cutscene, he'll look even worse.
Really?
I did it.
I mean, look, he's already getting some of the spider eyes on his right-hand side of his face.
I know. You did a real good thing. As long as you... I don't want to hear it. We're both getting out of here. Right?
Chris, even though I get you're trying to get him to go back with you, but I think it's too late to give him a C-virus cure at this point.
he's too gone.
Not to mention, if you did give him the cure, how is he going to grow back an arm? Because you saw it right there when before the boss, he not only got his impaled by the arm, but destroyed.
Yeah, it's not just going to magically grow back, even though it sort of did already.
Right, this last bit right here, the place is going to start collapsing, where Stephen and I have to run to the end, and then that's the chapter done. But the problem is that you see these blobs of goo here, only I can destroy them. And I can't run. Because again, I'm injured, so Stephen has to go on ahead. But get this, they try to scare you by throwing cocoons that'll hatch. Don't bother with the cocoons, just run. I just bloody run and then just get the hell out of there. See what I mean? I can't slide to speed things up because I'm injured. But if you take too long, the floors will collapse and you'll fall with them. But again, see, even though you've got the pad right there hatching next to you, don't bother with it. It'll fall. It'll fall as well. So might as well don't bother. And there's the end right there. One more last electric blast, and we're done. Now remember what I said earlier in the last cutscene? Pay attention to how Piers looks now. When this was like what, 5 minutes ago?
Oh yeah.
He's looking worse.
You're gonna be okay.
No, he's not.
It was that like a really sympathetic cough there, Andrew?
Yeah, yeah. Fuck, he can barely stand. Escape pods. I wonder if Grievous is here. Time to abandon ship.
Did you ever see that Simpsons episode where Mr. Burns gets in an escape pod, but then he like closes off Smithers and Smithers is like, oh dear God, there's like 2 seats in the pod. And then Mr. Burns is like, I like to put my feet up, and then he just closes the door on him. I like to put my feet up.
Yeah, I think I saw that once.
Got it.
So I mean, he's getting more and more of the mucus all over his face.
Here we go, Piers. We're getting out of here.
They're going home.
No, don't do this! Open the door!
I can imagine Roger Cricksmith in the recording booth getting a sore throat from doing these lines over and over again.
What are you doing? No, Piers, don't!
I'll give him props for trying to make it more believable than say Liam O'Brien as Infinite.
Piers, open the goddamn door! That's an order!
So yeah, I sacrificed myself to save him.
Of course, the main character gets it.
Yeah. Well, believe in Development Hell. Well, not Development Hell. In Development, the original plan, they originally wanted to kill off Chris.
Really?
But it's that thing where you fear of.
Oh shit!
And this fucking thing's back again. But anyway, yeah, it's that you run that risk of you've got a character who's been loved by so many for so many years, and it's like that you're preparing to kill him off. You're gonna upset a lot of them. It's like, say for example, you, a Doctor Who fan, and then they suddenly killed off the Doctor.
Which they have done in an episode before, believe it or not.
But I mean, like they kill him off permanently and replace him with someone else. You mean, how would you feel?
In a way, they technically do that.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was the last move there. So the Haos creature is destroyed for good because it fell along with the fuel explosions that were set off by Piers' electricity. And if you're wondering what Piers was given to Chris in his hand, this is what he was given him.
His badge.
His badge. And instead of retiring, what Chris is going to do to honour him, he's going to remain in the BSAA. For as long as he can. Oh, there's a helicopter from Josh. Hello, Chris. Have you stood outside my petition?
Aye, well done, Piers. You could have landed me anywhere else, but no, you landed me next to him.
So, that was Chris's campaign. Overall thoughts, Colin?
It's very Gears of War themed, isn't it? But
And
I thought like the gameplay, like I can see why a lot of like Resident Evil fans were pissed off about this sort of like decision to go down this route. And I think like the gameplay sort like near the end, it does get like quite repetitive near the end. I can imagine like when you're sort of like playing through this for the first time, you kind of need to like take breaks in between like your sort of playthroughs for this sort of campaign. That's how I can imagine it. What do you think?
Absolutely, exactly the same. Like I've said many times, this is the most boring campaign out of all of them, with Jake's coming incredibly close. But that's only because, again, when you start building up the first half of it, like you get used to it. But then when you get to the second half, that's when it drags on. It's like padding at its worst. But to give its credit, it does try to make it a bit more different than, say, your standard soldier story. I mean, you saw there the performances are a bit believable, especially considering Chris, considering where he came from. There was a bit of a character development, I must admit, when we first see him. He's at the bar, he's getting regret, and then he's angry, but then he learns to overcome that anger.
Yeah.
And again, I think the enemy designs were a bit repetitive, but very creative.
They're very gruesome as well. I'll say that. Add that to the counter.
So that is it for Chris's campaign. So what we're going to do actually, folks, because this is quite a long game, is that we're going to put Resident Evil 6 on hold for a little bit so we can have more room for future games. In fact, Colin, since you're not always available on the time, and when you do have the time to record, do you want to tease the viewers of what you have planned in the future?
It might include a certain bobcat.
Okay, and that's your tease. So that is it for Chris's campaign for Resident Evil 6. We will return to Resident Evil 6 at some point with Jake's campaign, but for now, we're going to take a small break from Resident Evil 6 so we can have more rooms for other games that we have already planned for you guys, because we love you guys. You make this channel the way it is. Without you, it's just the support has been absolutely amazing. So with that, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Colin.
We are Cal Gaming. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next Let's Play.
Captain. We've received new orders. All right. Better get to it then. Yes, sir.
What do you think?